Alright, hello there everybody. This is TerrorX, another weekly devlog. Today is March the 5th, 2021. This is Snapshot 0.0.42. A lot of stuff this week, a lot of stuff. I want to try to condense this down because I usually use my lunchtime to record this video. Otherwise, it carries over to Friday night. So I'm going to try to get this done quick, but there's actually a lot to cover. So first off, I fixed a long-standing bug that was preventing me from running this as standalone in the editor. Long story short, it allows me to actually test the server configuration, the replication, and stuff like that inside the editor itself without having to build the entire project, which really cuts down on build times. I still do build it about once a week, usually over the weekend, so I can spend time with the family. I just let it build. It does take a long time to build it. It's a 6 gig project, and building times can be kind of long. So anyhow, that out of the way, I added the beginnings of a chat system as well. Basically, you just press enter and hey there, and then I go over to my other character real quick, which is the only reason why I need this other character is hi back. There we go. That is actually live on the server and text back and forth. It's a lot of there's a lot of functionality that needs to be added in. But it's actually there and working. I need to make it a sizable box, make group chat, individual whisper chat, stuff like that. So there's more functionality to come on this, but at least we do have a chat box now. That was something somebody had mentioned at one point. I added icons above the NPCs' heads. Yeah, they're not beautiful. I'm not a great graphics artist, but I stole these off the internet and just slapped them in so that we actually have icons on their heads now instead of that little square. I started out with just text icons, which looked okay, had them spin, do all kinds of stuff, and then I was like, you know what, I just need some good graphics. So that's what I ended up with. Then there's also a red exclamation point when it's a turn in, which is a bad color, but it was the best icon that I could find. Anyhow, added icons, so that indicates what's going on with the NPCs. I changed the quest targets from actors to NPCs. You may not really understand this, but in Unreal Engine, there's such a thing as an actor. An actor is anything you could place on a level. An actor has a lot of properties. However, in order to save that actor, you have to convert it to binary in C++, which I may do eventually. I know I promised to keep this blueprint, but I think I'm going to have to go to C++. I'll get to that in a little bit. But an actor, in order to save it, you have to convert it to binary, save the binary file, then reconvert it back to an actor when you load the game. But instead, I added, in all of these quest actors, I added a text identifier that says this quest needs this person or this place. That is just an ID that I put on it that's text. That seemed to resolve a bunch of issues that I was having with actors, referencing an actual actor. I know this is kind of complicated, but at any rate, I'll get into more on what that fixed when I get into bug fixes, but that was a big change that I made. It didn't take too long, but it was a lot of code revision. I added quest prerequisites as well. It's tied to level and IDs of the previous quests that are required. So now you have quest chains, which you'll see in a minute when I actually do this. Before, you could actually see live quests on that second NPC in there. You could pretty much pick up all the quests all at once. Well, you can't do that anymore. You have to meet the level requirements and you have to meet the quest requirements. And I also did some minor code rewrites for optimization purposes on the questing system, but it is still a spaghettified mess and needs a lot of work. There's a lot of optimization still to be had, but it's running a lot better now. Okay, so diving right in, we got a quest dialog now. I made it into a scroll. It looks pretty nice. So this is what the quest dialog looks like now, and we can accept his quest. The same old quest as before. Talk to the guard, talk to him, and go in here and grab some axes, because that's his quest. We don't have any in there. We don't have any in there. We don't have any in there. We might not have axes. Yep, we can't cheese this one this time. We're going to have to actually go kill somebody. So let's go over here and find one of these guys with an axe. This guy's got an axe. Come here. Thank you for your axe. We appreciate your service. Take his axe. Kill him while I'm there. Okay, now I got my 2 axes. Nobody following me. All right, let's see. The icon changed. And you'll notice we have no quest in there. So let's go ahead and turn this one in. Complete. Okay, another thing that I fixed is the quest log used to not show the experience reward down here. It was broken, so that was fixed. Active quest. I also changed around the quest log look a little bit. Active and completed. It looks a little bit better. Still needs a lot of revision, but now this guy's showing that I have a quest available. So I'll go ahead and grab his quest, which is a standard kill quest. Create a distraction, go kill 5 mannequins. Doesn't work on the Red Crimson Guard NPCs. We already discussed that, so I'm going to go run around and... Yes, I know combat needs a lot of work, but anyhow, I just killed 5 of those guys. Let's go back over here. He should have a turn in. We're going to turn it in. And since we're level 3, which sometimes this doesn't carry over, but this time I actually made the level requirement. So go ahead and accept that. And, you know, his icon goes away, saying, you know, I have no more quests. And if you talk to these guys, they say they have no more requests. Later, that's going to actually be an NPC chat dialogue. All NPCs will be able to be interacted with and talked to. And if they have quests, it will actually pop up in their dialogue. You click the button, the scroll pop up. That's my end goal for that. And that can drive quest hooks, so you can actually have a conversation with somebody. And if you click the right things, they will actually activate a quest. So maybe a quest with somebody else. So that's a thing. Let's go ahead and chop these guys up a little bit. Need one more. Yeah, I've got my little machine gun on me, which actually one-shots everything, so that's nice. Makes this go a little bit faster. Now we got to turn in again. I'm not going to level up, and you notice this guard is saying, hey, there's no quest available. Come back later. Well, the reason why is because he requires me to be level 4. And those guys don't respawn. Let's just go over here and kill these guys. I might have to relog, because I don't want to kill these guys forever. Let's go over here. And things are actually running a lot better. Combat would actually be running a lot better, but I've done some rebuilding on a lot of the systems to make them run more smoothly, but combat, the AI, the ragdoll, that all needs some looking at. All right, well, we got to make level 4, so let's go chop up some of these guys real quick. Chop you up. Chop you up. Chop you up. Come on. Yeah, my experience in leveling system is a little off kilter too. I need to up the experience gained or just adjust the leveling altogether. Yeah, that's right. You just hit me, punk. Alright, come on over here. We're just about there. Sorry, this is... Normally it doesn't take this long, but unfortunately some of the adjustments that I made drug this out. There we go. There we go. And yes, I can't keep that sound. I would like to, but I can't keep it. So now we're level 4. He's got a quest available. He's actually got 2 quests available, and it shows the quest select dialog. So let's go ahead and accept 1. He still says there's a quest, so we go ahead and it no longer displays the dialog because there's only 1 quest available. We accept it. We now have, we've updated the quest tracker a little bit. It looks a little better now. It has new checkboxes, and what else? I think that was it. Yeah, I just updated the tracker. Made it look a little bit better. That was weird. I'll have to do some work on the checkboxes, but at any rate, we do have the experience rewards that we got showing up correctly in the completed quest, and as well as the active quests. So that's a thing. All right, so I put this destination's right here with this guy. Hi. All right, so chop you up. Told you, one hit wonder, and that was a critical hit too. So we went ahead and took care of that. We're gonna go in here, complete this quest. He still has a turn in, so we'll click on him again, complete that quest. There we go. Quest resolved. All right, so that's the quest. Quest dialog, quest tracker I explained. Item collection quest, you used to have a problem. I didn't show you this, but they used to have a problem when you picked up an item in a chest and equipped it. Immediately, it would kind of wonk out the system, and it didn't like that too much. It would count it or not count it. and it just broke the system. That's been fixed. It no longer happens. There's no way to cheat a quest. There's no way to dupe items or anything like that, as far as I know. And I've been really running this through the mill. Um, Da da da. All right, so you saw the chest earlier. We added crafting ingredients. Quite a few of them, actually. I was starting to work on that a little bit. We even got some recipes in here. But because I haven't implemented a lot of the system, you won't see most of the functionality there. You'll just see a bunch of icons. Along that vein, we actually added inventory slots. There's a bunch more inventory slots and the ability to turn on and off backpacks, which that's something I'm going to get to later, is backpacks in your inventory where you can turn them on and off and have more than one bag instead of backpack. But that was the reason why I added this icon. I wanted to have a proof of functionality there. And I also added in a whole bunch more slots. Actually, there's 2 more slots going to be added too. These are both trinkets right here, which are going to be random items you can place on your character or in your pockets or whatever, like a pocket watch, jack in the box, something like that. That's going to become a cape. This is going to become a ranged weapon. This is ammunition. These are wrists or bracelets. These 2 are earrings. This is a necklace, and these 2 are reserved for the pet mount. That's what those spots are all for. I think inventory is a very important part of a game. You have your stats, you have your abilities. That's a way to customize your character, but also the equipment that you have is a way to customize your character. You can have different kinds of equipment with different stats and appearances and stuff like that. So that's kind of important in a role-playing game, I believe. And having more slots means having more stats and more functionality and more alterations to your character. Let's see what else. The quest log UI got upgraded. I already showed that. That's been upgraded. XP showing up on completed. Yeah, I showed that. Added a graph. Okay. See this little rock right here? I love how the textures that I put in the game don't work right, and the light maps are all kind of wonky on them. But yet this rock looks perfect and casts shadows perfectly and all that. That's because that's an Unreal rock. And these things, even though the sun's like over there and this should be a bright side, yeah, my textures aren't working right with the ones that I actually put in the game. So I need to up my skill on light maps and textures. But anyhow, this is a rock, and you see it says E to mine it, and later on we'll have an animation that goes with it, and you'll require a pickaxe. But I can just click on it, hit E, and it actually puts rocks in my inventory. And of course, we're going to have that break down into nothingness and go away after you mine it so many times. But for right now, for proof of concept, I've got it like that. You cannot drop rocks. I don't have those editable in the world, droppable. So, but I can drop drop axes. I think the axes are kind of messed up. They don't drop properly. But swords should. Maybe it's dropping under the floor. I don't know. That's a clipping issue. I'm not too worried about that. That's not what I'm showing off. Some objects you actually can drop in the game. I don't know if I'm going to allow that in the end or not. I don't know if I'm going to have it so that you can actually drop and pick up items. It's extra garbage collection in the world and exploitability and stuff like that. So I'm not sure. I think I'm going to be very cautious on how I approach that. But anyhow, moving on. Open the backpack from the inventory. Showed that one. And I also experimented with world teleportation. Not teleportation as in one place to another using the little portal guy right here. I'm talking about world teleportation as in instancing and teleporting to another world. I did play around with it. I know how I'm going to have to go about getting it to work, but it's going to require a number of C++ code or a C++ package. And I'm going to try to make, if I do this, I'm going to make the code. I've got to learn how to build nodes in C++ because I want to make it accessible through the blueprint system. I know I said that I was going to try to stick with blueprints, but in order to do this, I have to write C++ code to make it work. But that's going to enable instancing and transporting from one world to another. I do actually have the functionality in here, but unfortunately the only way I can get it to work in Blueprint right now is to teleport the entire server. So pretty much everybody on the server teleports to another world. That's not acceptable. So there is a way to do it via just a client, And the reasoning is most MMOs have multiple servers, physical servers, that would host a different map. Well, nowadays servers are a lot more powerful and they can host multiple instances. Well, they've always been able to do that, small scale instances, but we're talking about multiple worlds. You can probably host a couple of worlds on a server. Um, so that's something that I want to play around with is the ability to have two worlds that you can, and let's just call them past and future or past and present. And I want to be able to teleport between those two worlds. That's going to be my proof of concept. One might be winter, one might be summer. I don't know how I'm going to do it just yet, but I do want the ability to have two static different worlds that are persistent and be able to teleport between the two, as well as have instancing, like apartments. If this was my apartment and I go into it, it'll instance me into that apartment. Whereas building houses out in the open would be available to everybody and they could break it down or get into it. That would be a relatively secure way to have your storage inside of a city, although you don't really show off your property. People can't see your building or anything like that. And the city can be destroyed and you lose your apartment. I took some of those ideas from Ashes of Creation, but that is an instancing idea. Dungeons and raids also, I want to have the instancing capability and as well as static. So there's going to be some really good static dungeon ability, raids and stuff like that. But I also want to have some of them that are like high-end content that is instanced. I want to have a mix of the two so that you can do both of them because some people might want to develop a game that's all instance content. Other people might want to have it all open world content where you go through a rock facing and you're into a dungeon. So it's all good either way. That's kind of how I want to handle that. And that could actually be handled via a different world. You go through a portal, boom, you go through the rock area, it takes you through a portal or a transition, and you're actually in a different map. Um, Now, bug fixes, bug fixes. So, changing the ID on the characters from an actor target, the Find Sherry was an actor set on this tree, around this tree somewhere. I think it's right there. But anyhow, you can't see it obviously. But that was actually an actor object. That changed to a text object on this character. This character, this dead down here that won't respawn because he's got old AI, he has a little reference in him saying that that quest objective is tied to the name of this actor, not the actor itself anymore. That was what was causing my editor to crash, the LevelActor issue. I don't know why it was causing it to crash, but when I made that change, which was kind of a complicated change through a lot of different blueprints and a lot of code, when I made that change, the editor no longer crashed, and I was really happy about that. Also, interaction quests no longer forget their targets as a result. So before you could get a quest from this guy, he said to talk to this guy, and if you logged out and logged back in, there was a chance that you could talk to this guy and it wouldn't work. It would not give you credit. But you could talk to this guy and it might work, or it may not work at all. That was something I ran into. It was a very rare instance bug, but it was also tied to the actor because that actor can be assigned a name depending on the time that it loads. And sometimes for some reason it would just nullify that actor completely because it was non-existent at the time that quest was loaded. So yeah, it's just odd how that was working. All right, so boom, there you go. There's the week in a nutshell. That's the new stuff. What else do we want to talk about? I thought I would go into. I've been working on this game for 4 months now, almost exactly 4 months at this point. Um, I would like to take a few minutes and tell you the state of the game, soup to nuts, and what I've accomplished, or yeah, I like to say it's just a team player thing, but what I've accomplished so far in the last 4 months. We have a login screen, a simple character creation and customization screen, character saving, and the ability to save the game, or the state of characters and certain things that I deem necessary to save on the server. So that when the server shuts down and restarts, which ideally you would do daily, it will actually reload everything into the world, buildings, players, inventories, so on and so forth as they were. When the character logs in, it would load the inventory. When the world starts up, it would load all the props and the buildings. We actually have a map to play on. We have NPCs and items populating the world. We have a day and night cycle, which does work, albeit it's a little bit wonky right now, and it needs a lot of work because I mean, on first glance, it looks good, right? It is nighttime. It's 1 a.m. Got stars up in the sky, a little bit of fog rolling in. It looks good, but I know internally it needs work. I can do a lot better. So we got that, and I want the sound to actually change at nighttime versus daytime. Um, I only had the built-in daytime sound that Unreal provided in one of their downloads, so that's the one that I used. What else? We have character nameplates above our characters, which I killed these two guys so you can't see anything. Above NPCs and players alike. NPCs. We have the character status display. Let's just in our inventory, we got information about our different stats. I want to expand on that, make that really nice because I'm a stat guy. I'm a min-maxer. I love to know what affects what, how much, do a spreadsheet, yada yada, and come up with the optimization for my character, as well as this up here, which shows our general stats like our health, our stamina, our mana. And eventually that may show fatigue. And fatigue I'll explain at some point later when I implement it. We have a rudimentary combat system, i.e. I can put on a weapon, I can swing it, and I can kill a guy. And they can swing it and do damage to me. That's just about all there is to it. I mean, the guys don't run around too well. They do run around. Some of them stand still. It's a pathing issue I've got with the AI. When you stand on top of one, it actually bounces you around. That's a problem. There's tons of problems with the system, but I got combat working and an animation and a little trail so you can swing a weapon and actually do damage and kill things. And if I had an axe, I would actually do physical, regular damage and not just one-shot everything. But for the purposes of the video, I grabbed my little machine gun, which is a great weapon. We have... what? Inventory system and an equipment system. They kind of go hand in hand, but we do have that, and I've expanded on it recently. It's going to have to be revisited. We have a compass. There was a bug with the compass before where you could drag it from here. You guys wouldn't have known that, but now it only drags when you touch the bar. But originally, whether it was expanded or not, you could click right here and actually move it around, but you can't do that anymore, only on the bar. So that was fixed. We have a compass. We have weapons and armor, equipable weapons and armor that actually show up on your character when you equip them. Our lighting is all wonky because I'm not good with textures, but let's go see. I do not have the ability to show light anywhere, but I can go to a more lit up area, I guess. It's dawn, so it's going to start lighting up pretty soon. But we actually have armor that we can equip to our body and take off, and it actually goes on and goes on the ground as well if we do so, if we do allow that. So we have an armor and weapon system. We have resting and sprinting. I can sprint. No, this isn't for everybody. This is not the speed that people are actually going to go, but it is a sprinting system, just proof of concept. And also we have resting, which is a squat. You do a little squat, you rest up. No, shouldn't be moving around, but you can do a squat and rest up. And if you're out of combat, you actually rest faster, so on and so forth. There's some work to be done on it, but we do have it. Consumable items. Haven't showed that off in a while. We actually have items that you can eat. Some things are instant and just bring your health back. Other things are health over time. So this guy right here is instant. Boop. So we got instant health and health over time. I'm still recovering from that, and that will recover me even further. We're going to add in mana items and stuff like that as well. Let's see what else. Consumable items. We got character stats. Kind of already went over that. We got a lot of different stats. Hit points, magic points, stamina points, strength, dex, int, wisdom, constitution, charisma, speed, so on and so forth. There are some of them that are conglomeration of different abilities, skills, stats, your level, which are kind of handled behind the scenes, and there's a formula to them, but I too try to display those. So I'm going to work on a character page that will actually show that a little bit better. We have working portals from one place to another, which I've already shown. We have an experience and leveling system. It's not the best in the world. It only handles one level at a time. It needs a lot of work, but it shows that I can actually do it, and we have experience, and we can actually level up our character. And that affects your combat abilities and, of course, all kinds of things. We have a system menu, which is kind of cruddy. It only allows you to quit the game, But it is a system menu nonetheless. It's kind of a placeholder, proof of concept, just to get it in there. We have a chat interface, which does work. You can chat back and forth with people. We have a what the fuck bar, which, you know, anything I look at, if it's tagged in the game, anything that I look at is actually showing up, you know, what it is. So it's a chest, it's usable. This guy's dead, but he's a friendly vendor that is dead. He's a friendly quest giver that is dead. He's a guard, quest giver, friendly, and the hostile NPCs. This is a stone, usable. So we got some work to do on that system, but we do have a rudimentary one. I want to change that later. I want to have a 3D version, or no, sorry, I want to have a first person and third person separated. So if you're in first person, you're actually looking at things. If you're in third person, you're clicking on things, and I want to separate those two mechanics. You can see I have crosshair. I'm kind of combining the two right now, but eventually I'm going to split those out where you'll hit like V or something and switch from first person to third person. See, this is more of a first person thing. Yeah, it looks kind of funny, doesn't it? Yeah, that's because you're not supposed to see it like that. You're supposed to be seeing it like this. Well, it looks terrible, but and the camera's set too low. But generally, you would be able to see it kind of like that. That's your first person look. Let's go ahead and kill that guy just because. So yeah, that's why it looks kind of weird like this. But that's how third person usually works. And then first person, you got this. Or third person, you've got this. Had them backwards. So anyhow, we got that. We got a gathering system, somewhat. I can grab items. Started working on a crafting system, but then I realized I was getting ahead of myself. I needed to do other things first. We have a looting system where we can loot NPCs. I do not have random loot on these NPCs. He must not have anything on him. I guess this guy's empty. Yeah, this guy's empty. This guy's not. So he's got items, and I think I just got stuck. That's great. Wonderful. So that's what I was talking about the ragdolls. They're problematic. But we actually have a looting system. They're not set up to a random loot table, but the chest is. That was my proof of concept. The chest actually has random items in it. We have... You guys just keep on coming. NPCs are like crazy today. Spawning. Oh, yeah, I remember that bug. So yeah, I can keep respawning him. He's actually there, but it saves his position, and when I move away and move back in, I keep respawning the guy, I think. It's kind of funny. That's something I got to work on. But anyhow, we got crafting items. We've got a looting system. We got an in-game compass, and we got a questing system and modular building system. I know I didn't really elaborate on those two. They were more recent videos, but we have an entire building system that needs some work, but it does work. You can build properties. Let's turn grid snapping on. I need to work on the interface a bit, but you can actually build buildings. Not ideal. You know, it's not the best system in the world. You can actually change the structure type. If I want a wall, I can change the material type to pine if I wanted to. So, you know, there's some functionality there that needs a lot more functionality, but there is some functionality with it. So there we go. Let's see what else. Oh yeah. Did I add them in here? Yeah. I don't think I showed you guys this. We have stairs. We actually have stairs that we can put in the world now. Let's see, where do I want them? I want them right there. I don't know if I showed these off or not. I don't really remember, but at one point I did put in stairs that you can actually add to the building now. So there you go. You're welcome. And of course our questing system, which we just went over, kind of. It was in this video, but at any rate, my time is pretty much up. I think I'm over time. I need to get back to work. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe, click the notify button, you know, all that good jazz. that helps out the YouTube algorithm and the Google algorithm, and call it Google Juice or whatever. It gets me up there and gets more notoriety. And why do I need that? Because the more people that watch, the more excited people get about this, the more interest there is, the more information I get from them. They can tell me what they like, what they'd like to see, what they wouldn't like to see, what's cool, what's not. And at some point, I'm going to put some kind of funding on this project. I don't know when, I don't know how. I've considered Patreon, I've considered Kickstarter. I don't know how those are going to actually play out, but that is a thing that I'm going to try to do at some point, as well as a website, all that stuff. This takes a lot of time, and I have a full time job. So the closer I can get to making this a full time job, that's not just realizing my dream, but it's actually helping out everybody. I'm able to provide this, and then I can actually do tutorials and teach you guys how to do the things that I know how to do. So anyhow, I am gonna try to work on a roadmap that I'm planning, and I'll put that on Discord. I wanted to go over it today, but there's about 30 items on that list right now, and I can't go over all of that in the amount of time that I have left. So you guys have a great weekend. Thank you very much for watching. And again, please tell a friend. Click the like button, click the subscribe button. Give me some love there. It doesn't cost you anything. Comment and let me know what you'd like to see next. I can't guarantee that I'm gonna get to it. Right now I've got, but I'd like to put something. If you've got some things that are important that you'd like to see, put those in the comments and I'll add those to my list, or I'll update my list or something like that. Right now I have to get this networking thing out of the way so that I can get world teleportation and get the logins working properly. So at any rate, sorry, extending this out a bit. You guys have a great weekend. Take care. Terex signing out. Bye.